going on? Welcome to Sharp Dress Gaming, and today we're back with some more Pokemon VGC 2017. We're back once again with the Jolteon team. Last week I did have to take off because I was in a wedding, so I was getting ready for that, and I was also doing some stuff with the reptiles, the snakes and stuff, bringing them to school, so I didn't have much time. But we have time again now. So, we're back with Jolteon, Lapras, Garchomp, Metagross, Tapu Bulu, and Talonflame. The ladder did reset, so I tried a few practice battles after being gone for a week, and I didn't do too hot, as you can see. 1 win, 3 losses right now, so we're going to try and get above 1,500 once again with this team, see where we can get going. I'm doing fine with the doubles team. Like, I've been using the Mega Alakazam team for fun, because I really like it, and I'm doing well. Also, not alcohol, just Pepsi. Pepsi Max. I just like using big fancy mugs. I'm actually going to set that on the floor because it's leaving a ring on my Lugia playmat. Sorry for the blinding light. Blinded by the light. My internet's been real crap lately. I don't know what's going on with it. Hopefully we can find an opponent. Because, yeah, I was doing this last night where I couldn't find an opponent ever. But the opponents it would find were the exact same rank as me, which is really weird. But what can you do? What can you do? What can you do? I'm going to cut until we find an opponent, because this might take a while, folks, so we'll see you in a second. Alright, we're back with Kylie from New Jersey, with Garchomp, Tapu Koko, Tapu Lele, Porygon 2, Arcanine, and Celesteela. Ooh, one of my big problems last night is I wouldn't save Jolteon when I needed Jolteon. Like, I'd always bring it, and I'm like, just rail things with attacks until it's dead, and then they'd have, like, Celesteela or something in the back. So, I'm going to go Jolteon for sure. And then we can go with a Talonflizzle, I think. No, maybe not. Well, what else do we need? I'm thinking we'll need Lapras for sure for the Arcanine. Garchomp isn't the worst idea. Metagross is actually pretty good here too. I could just rely on Lapras and Jolteon to take out the Arcanine, so I'm going to go Talonflame and Metagross and Lapras in the back. Let's do that. I don't remember if I saved the battle or not, but I had a battle where Metagross, the only battle I've won, where Metagross just absolutely destroyed everything on their team, and for some reason they wouldn't attack it. It was like they had, what electric type did they have? No, it was the Porygon too. It was using Thunderbolt, but on everything but the Metagross. It was just letting Metagross knock everything else out, so I don't know. But we see Celesteela, Garchomp lead for my opponent, so Jolteon is looking really nice here. Both Pokemon threaten Celesteela, so I'm thinking that my opponent might not, or might have protected here. So I'm going to go for Hidden Power Ice onto the Garchomp. And I could go Taunt Celesteela, or I could just Flare Blitz it, or I could just Tailwind. I don't know that it's worth Tailwinding this turn. But I also don't know that it's worth Brave Birding. I'm going to Tailwind. Just in case this is like Scarf Garchomp and he Earthquakes here. I'm going to withdraw Celesteela for Arcanine. Tapu Koko. So Flare Blitz still would have just demolished this thing. I don't know. My opponent must not be going for Earthquake then, because Tapu Koko came out, so it must be Ground DMZ. So my Jolteon should be able to get off the Hidden Power Ice. Or Rock Slide. It is Scarf Garchomp, but he locks himself into Rock Slide, which Talonflame will live because of the Focus Sash. And then I can use Hidden Power Ice as long as I don't flinch. Perfect. And bop, I should knock out as long as it's... Oh, that's Choice Scarf we already figured out, so... There goes Garchomp. And Jolteon's looking really nice to knock out Celesteela because of the electric terrain. So there's that. Tapu Lele is going to come in now. And going to actually get rid of the terrain. So we know all of my opponent's Pokemon. I do want to make sure that Jolteon stays around. I really don't need Lapras. Metagross will be okay. I mean, Metagross is really only good against the Tapu Lele. I'm actually going to switch Metagross in here, because I'm assuming Tapu Lele is going to attack it. And then with Talonflame, I'm going to Flare Blitz the Tapu Koko. Get a big hit off on Tapu Koko before Talonflame goes down. Metagross comes in. might be taking 2 hits here, but we are Assault Vested, so we should be able to take both of them. Flare Blitz, no Protect on the Tapu Koko. Bop. Does a nice amount of damage with a critical hit and a burn. So Talonflame pulling its worth here, and it's going to feint to recoil damage. So it did its work. Tapu Koko goes for Dazzling Gleam, though, trying to get as much damage off on the Jolteon as it can. But now the Metagross is out here, going to be looking nice. Double Dazzling Gleam. The double Gleam. Metagross is going to be taking that very nicely. Tapu Koko's got its burn going for it. And now I can bring in... I'm going to bring in Lapras, just because I don't want Metagross to miss the Tapu Lele and then Tapu Koko getting damage off onto Jolteon. Not that it'll really matter, but just to be safe. Now we Meteor Mash Tapu Lele, and I'm going to Ice Shard Tapu Koko, because I don't think Lapras outspeeds under the Tailwind. Celesteela is going to switch in here, though. Ice Shard. Oh, that's right, the Psychic Terrain. Oopsie. Lapras might go down here. Actually, if it goes for Thunderbolt, we should survive it. Oh, we won't survive that, though. The Gigavolt Havoc. Is that going to be onto my Metagross or my Lapras? That's the question. I would assume Metagross, because that's the bigger threat right now. Yeah, I messed up. I completely forgot about the Psychic Terrain that turn. Like, I thought about it with the Brave Bird from Talonflame, but... Actually, no, I didn't, because I don't think they were out at that point. I thought about it for Bullet Punch, that's what it was. Yeah, the Assault Vest is going to make Metagross survive. I think that was our last turn of Tailwind, though. But Tapu Koko feints to burn, actually, so that works out perfectly. And then Tapu Lele will come in here. So Assault Vest really coming through with our Metagross. And do we still have Tailwind, then? Tailwind, then? Yeah, we do. That's one more turn of Tailwind, so I'm going to try and Meteor Mash the Tapu Lele. I was going to go for Hydro Pumps on the Celesteela, but they're not going to be doing enough damage to knock out, so I'll go for Freeze Dry. There's always that possibility of a freeze. Bop. That'll knock out the Tapu Lele unless it's invested, which it is. I do get the attack increase, but I don't expect to survive the turn, so what can you do? Freeze Dry hitting the Celesteela. Psychic goes off into the Metagross. 4 times resisted with Assault Vest is still not enough with the Psychic Terrain up, and a critical hit, that will also do it. So unfortunately Metagross will faint here, and Celesteela goes for Heavy Slam. Lapras is pretty big, and it's not super effective, so it's not going to do a ton of damage. We will see the Leftovers recovery from the Celesteela, and then my team's Tailwind will peter out. So now I bring in Jolteon. As long as this Tapu Lele isn't Choice Scarfed, we'll be fine. But to be safe, I'm going to protect my Jolteon, and I'll go for Freeze Dry onto Lapras. Well, actually, no, wait. Garchomp was already Choice Scarf, so Tapu Lele is not. So that ensures my Jolteon outspeeds. I just don't want the Celesteela to knock out Jolteon somehow. So I'm going to protect Jolteon this turn. And I'll go for Freeze Dry with Lapras. So as long as Tapu Lele doesn't attack Lapras, we're fine. Even then, the Lapras has got pretty big special defense. Psychic does go into Jolteon, so that should guarantee the game for us now. Freeze Dry into the Tapu Lele, knocking it out. Woo! Woohoo! So you just gotta make sure that your Jolteon stays alive. Leech Seed also into Jolteon. So, what can you do? A little Leftovers recovery on the Celesteela. And then we go Thunderbolt, which should be enough to knock out Celesteela, but we'll follow up with a Freeze Dry just in case. And my opponent's just going to forfeit. So, good game one, kids. We're pulling it back. See, I just need to practice a little bit last night, get all the losses out of the way. Not that my opponent was super... Actually, was my opponent above 1500? I can't remember. Either way, good battle. And you can't always judge your opponent by their ranking. Because, like what happened to us, we just were a little bit rusty and dropped down. Because I don't think this team is bad. I think it's actually pretty good for using some non-conventional Pokemon. The least used of the Tapus, and then Jolteon and Lapras. Metagross is starting to drop a lot. Talonflame's never seen. Garchomp's really the only conventional Pokemon on this team. And I rarely even use Garchomp. He's just kind of there in case we need some... I mean, we have an electric immunity in Jolteon. It's really because ground types are so essential to this metagame right now, and there's so few of them. There's Mudsdale, there's Garchomp, and there's Crocodile are really the only ones I can think of. Because Gastrodon doesn't get Earth Power, which it needs. But, anyway. Mimikyu, Mudsdale, Arcanine, Kartana, Tapu Koko, and Garchomp. So that Mimikyu probably has Trick Room. I don't know that they'll lead Trick Room, because I don't necessarily need to, I don't think. My Jolteon really only hits the Garchomp, so Lapras can take care of that if need be. Lapras actually does pretty good against 3 Pokemon on this team, and then 2 of them are super effective, which could activate Weakness Policy for us. I think Talonflame will be good here. Talonflame, Lapras for sure. Garchomp, maybe. Maybe Garchomp. Will Tapu Bulu be worth it? I don't think so. So maybe we do go Jolteon. Because Metagross definitely not worth it. So I'm going to go Jolteon Talonflame again. This time with Lapras and Garchomp in the back instead of the Metagross. Or Metagross. I know I go back and forth. I prefer Metagross because I think I've heard it more in the anime pronounced that way. Not that the anime is always right. In fact, they're often wrong. But I like the sound of Metagross better because Metagross makes it sound like it's gross. But I don't know. I don't know, Ming. I don't know, Ming. I've got quite a few teams brewing on Pokemon Showdown too, so I'll do this team for at least the rest of this week, if not another week, because I do really like this team. And I haven't had a chance to go to tournaments at all this year, so I want to kind of use the teams a little bit more than usual, because I don't get to use them outside of YouTube very often anymore. But what can you do? What can you do? Hopefully next season I'll have more time to do that kind of stuff next year or whatever. Mudsdale Mimikyu does actually lead off for my opponent. And I'm going to lead Jolteon Talonflame like previously stated. Work texts, the usual. Okay, so what can I do here? I could double into Mudsdale, but it might protect. But it might not, just because of the Pokemon that I have out. Hidden Power Ice, if it's a Assault Vest, Mudsdale won't do a ton. I only have Lapras in the back. I mean, Jolteon's not going to be doing much in this entire game, really. Yeah, I don't need to keep Jolteon alive. So, I will Hidden Power Ice the Lapras. No, actually... Lapras, sorry. I'm going to Shadow Ball the Mimikyu, and I'll Brave Bird the Mimikyu. Just in case the Mudsdale does protect for any reason. I don't think it will. It's probably Assault Vest. Yeah, but we get to pop the Disguise on the Mimikyu and then hit with a Shadow Ball. I don't know that'll be enough to knock it out, because typically Trick Room Mimikyus are be a little bulkier. But at least we can get a bunch of damage off on it. Here comes Shadow Ball. I don't take recoil from that, which is nice, I think. Almost there. Almost there. Mudsdale probably goes for... Oh, Play Rough actually comes out from the Mimikyu. That's interesting. And then Mudsdale goes for the Rock Slide. Trying to get double KOs here. Jolteon should faint, Talonflame shouldn't. So that's fine, because now Mimikyu doesn't get off its attack. Or get off its Trick Room. And then I can bring in Lapras. Unfortunately, we no longer have the priority with Talonflame, so if this Mimikyu wants to Shadow Sneak, it can. But then, again, it's not getting enough Trick Room. And I can rail this Mudsdale. I'm going to actually use Freeze Dry, because, again, I did not... Weakness Policy'd up, so Hydro Pump's not going to knock it out, because I have no investments. I'm assuming Assault Vest at this point. So now I Brave Bird the Mimikyu, just in case it doesn't have a Shadow Sneak, and also if it's trying to Trick Room, then I can get rid of that. And then Lapras can put some damage on the Mudsdale before we have to bring out Garchomp, which is our back Pokemon, right? Yep, Shadow Sneak does come out from Mimikyu. That's fine, because again, I can take care of it at any point here. I'm going to Freeze Dry the Mudsdale, which does negligible damage. We're going to see the Stamina boost, so I'm assuming it is Assault Vest because of that damage. And we're going to see another Rock Slide. Lapras actually avoids, which is unfortunate. I would have rather Lapras got hit that turn, so that we can have the Weakness Policy boost. But now I can bring in Garchomp instead. I'm gonna go for Hydro Pump this time on the Mudsdale, just for funsies. I'll just Poison Jab Mimikyu. I don't really care if Mimikyu Shadow Sneaks either of my Pokemon right now. It's not gonna do a ton of damage. A ton. Well, yeah, it's just making sure that the Mimikyu doesn't hurt me too badly. Because Garchomp should outspeed Mimikyu, so if it's trying to play rough, we'll still be able to pick it up before it can do that. If it tries to Trick Room, we'll definitely get it, so there's those things. So probably just try and Shadow Sneak. Actually, it doesn't, so we get the Poison Jab off. That should get rid of the Mimikyu. Yep, there goes Mimikyu, so no Trick Room for you. Well, no Trick Room for you. And Hydro Pump does connect, fortunately. Should do about 50. Around about. And then Mudsdale, of course, will get its stamina boost. But if he hits Rock Slide this turn, which he does, it will break Weakness Policy on my Lapras. And I can just Freeze Dry it on the following turn. I love Weakness Policy Lapras. Especially because it can take so many hits. Especially a lot of super effective ones. That it comes in pretty handy. Unfortunately, there is the speed you have to worry about after that, but I used to use Weakness Policy Lapras in 2015. Yeah, 2015, because Lapras wouldn't have been able to survive. Lapras wouldn't have done terribly, I think, in 2016. I didn't really see it, though. Kartana is going to come out here, which is bad. That's bad. Because that means that my poor little Mudsdale will be... here. We just Ice Shard the Kartana and Tectonic Rage Kartana, and that should take it out. I was going to say, because my Lapras can get knocked out pretty easy by Kartana. Actually, wait, Kartana's faster than Garchomp, isn't it? Shoot. We might still get knocked out here. Critical hit on the Ice Shard. Yep. It's... Oh, he Leaf Blades Garchomp, though. So that means Lapras should be around for a little bit longer. And I could have attacked the Mudsdale because he Leaf Bladed me, but that was just to be safe. And also, I completely forgot that Kartana is faster than Garchomp, which is something I should have off the top of my head by this point in the year. But anyway, Tectonic Rage should take out the Kartana, and Mudsdale is probably still relying on Rock Slide. Could go for close combat, I suppose. But there goes Kartana. Mudsdale does go for close combat into Lapras. We should be able to take that because again, it's not. What? Okay, well then. I know it's a little stronger than Rock Slide, but, like, I saw it slowing down, I'm like, oh, we'll live with just red, and then it disappeared. Like, I blinked, and all my health was gone. So that's not good. Yeah, I definitely should have Hydro Pumped or Protected. Protecting would have been the best move there, especially with Arcanine in the back, because it's going to intimidate me. Oh, we choked it away, boys. We should have protected Lapras, or just Hydro Pumped the other thing. The Mudsdale. I'll just go for Earthquakes. Mudsdale's going to survive because it's at like +3, I think, at this point, or +2 in defense. No, it's should be +1 after that close combat. But Arcanine intimidated me, so it's like it's +2. There's no way I take out the Arcanine. I'm surprised it didn't Extreme Speed on me. I'm going to go for Earthquakes, though. See what we can do. Crit him. Ooh, I think we crit Arcanine. Critical hit on the Arcanine. Mudsdale gets, of course, another stamina boost. But, well, it is -1 attack. There is the possibility it can't knock us out. He goes for close combat, which will only help our cause. Oh, jeez. It's like every time it's like, and then it just gets you. That's unfortunate. I thought we were going to live that. And it would have for sure put him in range to knock out the next turn, so... Unfortunately, Mudsdale's just too strong, man. He got too much strength. So that, unfortunately, will be the video. I don't know why I couldn't have waited for the end of the video for that. I'm just too addicted to Pepsi, I guess. Not a sponsor. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to join us on Wednesday when we'll be back with this. If you want to see doubles, of course, that goes up tomorrow, as well as singles. And then... yeah, we'll continue on from there. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Stay sharp, everyone.